What's up, traders? This is Jeff Kohler, aka The Option Addict from www.tradingaddicts.com. Here to spread the love with another weekly watch list. Let's hop to it. Friday brought forth an interesting development. Finally got a nice little break out of this consolidation range that we've seen for the month of May. Nice little surge of buying into the close, too. It was pretty steady, pretty fast, pretty furious. And we broke out of that range of descending highs and ascending lows, pointing to further upside. Where are we going from here? I'm watching that 200-day moving average. In fact, the upside price objective we've talked about is 935. So we're watching for a move right onto about that space. That would be taking out the prior highs, a little bit of buying beyond that level, and we'll probably look to take profit. So 935, that 200-day moving average, is the next upside target that we have in mind. Although, with futures, our futures prices are slightly up, so we'll probably see a little bit of a continuation in the morning. But usually these ranges don't go without another test, meaning prices don't pull back and retest. So as far as the downside, we could see the S&P move as low as about 910, but I think that ought to mark a short-term bottom as we start to trend higher from here. The VIX is also getting into some mighty comfortable territory. We now have a 2 handle on the VIX, and we're there to stay. So as far as downside target, I think by the time the S&P hits that price objective of 935, we probably see the VIX bottom out down towards 26 is what I'm thinking. And at that time, we'll probably form a nice little double bottom here in the VIX, and we might see prices start to pull back. So again, 935, I'm thinking we see a little bit upside this week. 935 is what I'm aiming for in the old S&P. The other thing I'm watching very closely is old technology stocks, and financials look pretty good as of the close, but tech stocks, I think if we're able to get outside of this range, it should be some pretty steady and pretty comfortable upside all week this week. So that's, I think if tech stocks and financials start to participate, we've already had the great energy and commodity trade going, but with a little bit of help from the tech stocks and financials, I think it should be a pretty nice, comfortable upside movement to 935, 940, whereabouts in the S&P. This week I did things a little bit differently. I don't have any real breakdowns or breakouts that I'm watching, just a slew of price patterns and a new category that I added this week, which is my little $10 darlings. So keep an eye out for the dips, the rips, and my fruit basket of cheap stocks. Here they come. And as far as price patterns this week, the one I'm watching most importantly is the old XLF. And as all things have consolidated in this nice little triangle, I think the XLF is basically showing us one of the most important ones. Volume is picked up here on the breakout, which is good. I took a position of FAS there into the close on Friday. We need financials to participate. I'm looking for a move to about 13, maybe even as close to 14 in the coming days. As far as copper price has been trading really strong. PCU, I like this breakout here. If prices pull back around 20, look to take a position. As a disclaimer, though, I'm already there. Next, we've got Coach, and I'm not a real big fan of retail. I've been trying to short retail on and off here for quite a while. In fact, I got a couple short positions in retail, but nonetheless, there's a real divergence going on within retailers right now, and I really like the setup going on here in Coach. I think you got to buy this breakout, and you can see prices in terms of closing prices closed at a high there on Friday. So technically, that's a low risk breakout where prices haven't moved too far. And there's triangles galore, so get used to those. I've also got one going on here in Temple Inland, relatively inexpensive stock. Pretty good price action on Friday. Look for a continuation. Once it gets outside 13, could make about a $2 run. Next is ticker symbol EME. I'm also liking the triangle action that we're seeing going on here. More of a pennant, more of a symmetrical triangle, but a breakout nonetheless. A pull back to 22 even should be bought. In the financial space, old Morgan Stanley, ticker symbol MS. You can see the nice little triangle breakout from here. Pull back down to 29. Own it. Also throw up a couple of ETFs, some important ones. Steel stocks have been trading really well. We've seen a breakout and a continuation out of the steel sector. I'm looking for a pullback down to about 42 to buy the SLX. But there's a lot of good-looking stocks out there, including one that you'll find on my Buy the Dips list, which is old GSI. I already got a position in coal, but I'll talk about this one as well. Ticker symbol KOL, the coal ETF, got a nice little triangle breakout here. Pull back down to 23. I think you got to own that. Cameron, CAM, buy this one too. As far as energy trades, if you missed the energy trade that's been going on for the last couple of weeks, don't worry. Look for the just recent breakouts here like CAM, and I think on a pullback you got to own this. Next is ticker symbol CNX. You'll see the exact same pattern. This pattern is a dime a dozen out there, no matter where you look. But I like buying a little bit of a pullback. Right here, this would be, if I can get about 40, I'd be pretty pleased. Going over to materials, CMC. This one you have to buy. Look at that. Breakout, price action, looks really, really good. Good strong move here up around 17. If you can buy a dip back down between, I guess as long as it stays between 17 and 16.5, that's a pretty good spot. MIDD, I like the way price has been coiling up here. Price action wasn't all that great there on Friday, but you know, wait for a break. Wait for a nice little solid break out of this range that Middleby has been trading in. Got to go over to biotech. I really like the way biotech's been trading. And you look at the old BBH, IBB, you know, the biotech ETFs, they're looking pretty strong here. I'm looking for Amgen to pop out of this range to the upside. If it does, likely take a position. But what's looking weak? In the retail space, I like this little head and shoulders setup on Ann Taylor. To me, it looks like a breakdown and a pause right around 7.5, 7.30. It's a cheap stock, but look for this pattern. You know, look for the stocks that are starting to break down in the retail space. You know, as potential bearish setups. That's one of the first places I'd want to get bearish. Next is ticker symbol MHP, McGraw-Hill. This guy here looks a little toppy to me, and I think if it can close down beneath 30, I think that's a pretty reasonable short. TXI, same thing. I'm looking for these topping patterns. And, you know, TXI, it's above its 200-day moving average. I don't want to get too bearish yet, especially with the way it traded here on Friday. But if things start to weaken, I'd say if we get a close down about 30 or so, I think that's something you got to short. To me, it looks like a nice little double top in the making, short of confirmation. And then next we've got old Cognizant CTSH, one of the weaker looking tech stocks in my opinion. You can see a little pattern here of lower highs. If prices can close down beneath 24.5, I think you got to short this as it looks like a little descending triangle, maybe even a weakening triple top. Anyway, folks, that's all I got for you tonight. Pretty good list in terms of dip candidates, rip candidates, the $10 darlings, and a plethora of price patterns. If you want to see what we're doing with this list, please catch us over at www.tradingaddicts.com. This is the Option Addict. That's my watch list. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
I'll turn this damn bus around. That'll end your precious little field trip pretty damn quick, huh?